Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be looking at our third VATSIM flight. Now the reason I like this particular place as your third, again this could be your 6th or 7th or 25th depending on how things goes, flight, is because it's going to be integrating pretty much everything you've seen so far kind of into one group. So what we have here right now is that we're sitting here at beautiful Nantucket. This is basically right off the coast of Massachusetts in the USA. Fortunately there is a tower controller here today and there's also a great air controller above us. He's going to be giving us all sorts of nasty instructions. You can see somebody's running the pattern right now, so it's actually going to be almost a perfect day for the purposes of our little test today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll walk you through each little step individually and I'll kind of go to it. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and get our vPilot. We've already connected to it. Let's go ahead and call that up so you can take a look at it. And what we want to do is we want to let people know exactly what we're doing so that they're very familiar with our particular goal here. So what I like to do is I like to go up to Flight Plan. I like to go ahead and make sure it's all cleared out. I'm going to say VFR. We're going to say CAC. We're going to say CAC. We're going to say alternate airport PVD in case something comes up. A departure time, that's a 10:40. 14:51 is the current time. We'll call it a 14:55. I'm sorry, KPVD. It's just north of us. So we'll do 14:55. Time en route, we'll say 10 minutes. It's not going to be that long. We got 5 hours and 30 minutes. Cruise speed here is going to be 100. Cruise altitude is going to be the traffic pattern altitude of our current destination. We'll go ahead and confirm that real quick. You don't want to be that guy, right? So the field elevation is 25 feet, so it's going to give us basically 1,000 feet is going to be our cruise altitude here. So what I like to do now is I like to just come over here and I'll leave the route alone, but what I'd like to do is come down here for where it says remarks, and I say closed traffic. Now, the reason you do this is you're going to let the people on the ground know that you're just here running the traffic pattern. And again, they'll talk you through all their pieces and kind of enjoy everything like this. These are super fun to run, by the way, and fingers crossed that we're not going to run into too many shenanigans or goings on as we do this. So VFR, there's me. I've got my aircraft equipment suffix here. We're actually a standard equipment. We're an S. And that's going to include that. We have all the different pieces. We have our fuel, we have our time en route, we have our cruise speed. And as soon as I press this button, he's going to appear on his screen basically saying, hey, there's this airplane called Red 64 that would very much like to go ahead and rip around the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that real quickly and press File Flight Plan. And off it goes. So now it goes off to the VATSIM computer, the servers. You can actually watch somebody's coming in for a landing right now, which is actually super fun. So the next step we need to do is we need to call up the ATIS and we need to listen for what the situation is. Now the ATIS here is 127.500. So I'm going to go ahead and pop back over here. We'll come down here real fast. We'll go ahead and type in 127.500. So again, you're just grabbing this little thing. Again, this is why it's important to understand how your radios work. You don't want to find out the hard way that you did this one off by 1 digit or something silly like that. So let's go ahead and confirm everything again real fast. I'll switch back to this mode. 127.500. So we're just going to come over here, crank down, and now you're going to want to get yourself a notepad and you're going to want to make some notes. So I'm going to go ahead and swap so that it's in the COM2 here. I'm going to come over to COM2. I'm going to press this button and we're going to get a listen. But first of all, before I even do that, I'm going to go ahead and grab my notepad now, make sure it's ready to go. So as soon as I transfer, I can start listening to that. Okay, here we go. Transfer.
Nantucket Airport information call 14000. Wind 246 at 27.
Nantucket Tower ATIS information India 1353 Zulu. Wind 240 at 16. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 27. 3.23. Altimeter 29er88. Visual approach runway 24 and use. Landing and departing runway 24. Advise on initial contact. You have information. India.
All right, nice. So that's all the information we know. So this is pretty interesting. Winds are 240 at 16. That's, oh God, winds. But again, we're going to make do with what we have here. Visibility's 10, sky's clear. Temperature's 272 which means we're going to have some clouds, even though I don't see any up there. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Altimeter, we've already come in here. We've set this up. Again, if we don't get this code correct, they're going to get very grumpy at us, as you're going to find out in just a minute. And we're just going to tell them we have India. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one away. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer over, actually leave that open here, to the tower, which is 118.300. So I'm going to switch modes again. We're going to go 118.300. We're only going to do a one run of the pattern here. 118. I don't know why you can't roll backwards. We're going to do a 300. That does is annoying in the real plane too, by the way. Swap. And now we're just going to listen.
After departure. Departure frequency 134.7. Squawk 5503.
So he's just finishing up a call there.
November 81089 are cleared to Boston Logan via radar vectors Nantucket, direct, Fredo, direct. Clear, maintain 2000, expect 6000, 10 minutes after. Departure frequency 134.7, squawk 5503.
Wow, he nailed.
1089er, read that correct.
So he just did his quick little tap with his radio to let us know.
525 Victor Sierra, contact Boston Center now 134.7, have a flight.
So now he's just handed him off.
It's 134.7, November 525 Victor Sierra, thank you very much.
All right, so now we're going to hope that we can sneak in there real quickly. Nantucket Tower, Red 64 is at North Ramp. Request taxi to the active, close traffic with India.
Red 64, Boston Tower. Runway 24, taxi via Echo, cross runway 15.
Taxi 2 hold short of 24 via Echo, Red 64. So now he's just given us the instructions that we need. We'll go ahead and grid our little handy-dandy taxi diagram. So Echo basically says
November 81089 are ready to taxi.
We're going to come along this back end, and then we're going to take a right turn and basically jump all the way here, and we'll give him another call right when we get to that point.
24, taxi via Echo, cross runway 15.
Runway 24 via Echo, cross 15 for Grumman 089er.
Chop, 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 chop. And now we have permission. We're just going to be on our way. Now, if you make a boo-boo, they'll go ahead and call you up and let you know that you're going the wrong way or something like that. But one thing that's always kind of fun, and this is, you'll see this in the real world, not in the real world, you see this in other simulators, is that they'll have the wrong scenery, and somebody will go like through a building or something, or they'll go on a taxiway that's not actually a taxiway. That kind of thing happens. Don't panic. It's just a VATSIMism, and stuff like that's going to happen from time to time. Now, in the real world, of course, if you try to taxi through a building, you explode, and it's not good. So make sure you avoid that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to taxi all the way over to our handy-dandy little spot right here. Again, the big old runway 24. And now once we get there, we're just going to basically park and hold on. I'm going to go take my taxi diagram out for just a second. We're just going to confirm that we're on the right one. Yeah, it's going to bring us across Echo. So yeah, basically we're going to come all the way across to the little kind of warm-up zone here and kind of chill there for a second. So of course, just like in the real world, we always want to do a quick little run-up. The people on the ground usually expect you to do that. So what I like to do is in this particular spot in Nantucket, there's this little kind of thing on the corner that you can kind of sneak into real quick, getting a little fast on that taxi. So I'm going to slow down. So I'm going to go bop over there real quick and go ahead and run the engine up and make sure everything's working okay for us. All right, kind of sneak this way. Again, the taxiway is actually ahead of us. We'll go ahead and get that in a second. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and spin the airplane all the way around. Again, you want to try to put your nose into the wind when you run everything up. I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple squeezes. And that's about as into the wind as I'm going to get it. Hit the parking brake. Let's go ahead and get everything tested. Up to 1700 RPM. I guess we could use 1800 too. Joke's on us, this would be the windiest day in the universe to be doing this. By the way, don't do closed traffic on days when they're in instrument conditions. All right, let's try it out. Oh, it's actually quite a bit. Ugh, that left magneto is terrible. That's actually not flyable. If this were the real world, you would not operate this airplane. Your magneto is a little bit too crappy. Make sure everything is all flipped up so they can see us pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go taxi over to the edge of the runway and give everything a quick little wiggle, make sure it's not bugging. Then we're just going to call them up and basically ask them for permission to take off. This is a good time, by the way, to look around and make sure you've got your transponder and everything under the sun all set up. Let's make sure that's in altitude mode so we're easy to identify. In the real world, some airports are going to require that you keep your transponder on before you even start moving. Again, check your airport before you get too carried away with that. So we're going to go sneak over here. And we're just going to hold short of it. Now notice this is taxiway alpha, even though we're holding short of Echo here. There we go. And don't cross that line. That is not our line to cross. Nantucket Tower, Red 64 is holding short of 24 on Echo, close traffic.
Red 64, wind 240 at 16. Make left close traffic, report midfield H pass, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
Runway 24, cleared for takeoff. Make left traffic, report midfield each pass. Red 64. So all he's done is he said, just let him know when he gets to the midfield so that when we get to that point, we're good to go. But once he said cleared for takeoff, we just go. Again, if you ever worry about reading that stuff back, you can always write it down. I would recommend checking the approach before you do this. There's actually a guy behind us, but I'm not worried about it too much. We've actually basically cut him off. Sorry. Well, let's go. Woohoo! giving me the most dirty looking right now. He's like, why are you doing closed traffic when the wind speed's 15 knots? I'm going to get just a little bit extra speed, and we'll see just how bad it is. So now our next task is basically to fly the airplane. We don't have to worry about too much. Obviously, try to keep yourself as nice and centered on that runway as you can. If you need to lift your head up a little bit like this, or you need to take advantage of what you see on your little digital display on the right, do whatever works for you. And again, remember, eyes are watching. Come to my left just a tiny bit here. We're getting bounced around pretty good. So now what we have to do is get to 500 feet above the runway level before we can take our initial turn. Remember, the runway here is about 40 feet off the ground. Sea level, not off the ground. It's on the ground. So we need to get to about 540 feet before we can take that initial turn. But we also need to make sure we clear the runway before we take the
tower. Grumman 089er holding short 24, ready for departure.
Number 81089er, wind 240 at 16. Fly runway heading, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
Fly runway heading, runway 24, clear for takeoff, November 81089er.
Again, this is one of your normal skills. It's important that you practice them to death before you start bringing the radio in. So now all we have to do is let them know that we're midfield once we get to that point. There's 1,040-ish. And we're going to be coming around just a second. This one bummer thing about Cessnas, it's super difficult to see. You can see them taxing up on the runway. That's super cool. Let's go ahead and pull our throttle back. And once we get to midfield, we're just going to let them know. Nantucket Tower, Red 64 is midfield, touch and go.
Red 64, wind 240 at 16, runway 24, clear for the option.
Runway 24, cleared for the option, Red 64. So the option basically says we can either do a touch and go or we can do a full stop landing. In this case, we'll make this one a touch and go. Good, pretty good. Getting a little high. Going to go drop it. We're getting bounced pretty good today, so this is going to make it fun. All right, now beam the numbers. Going to go ahead and pull the throttle back. Go ahead and drop down the flaps. We have a tremendous tailwind here, so we definitely want to start our turn a little early because we know that we're basically going to get dragged.
Tower, November 81089er, 800 for 2000.
Number 81089er, roger. Contact Boston Center now 134.7. Have a good flight.
Center 134.7. We'll see you.
See ya.
Love that. I feel so sorry for these four folks because they'll find themselves on YouTube one day. What's up with that? So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to do a go around just to see if our guy in the tower is on top of his stuff here. Now, the go-arounds, again, you can declare them any day. It's just important that you go ask them to go around. And the reason I'm doing this for a demonstration here is just so that you're aware that you always have this option as well. Again, don't force anything that's going to get you nice and killed here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring our landing here. It is so difficult to line things up when you can't just, like, look. All right, slow us down.
100.
Nice. Oh, man, that wind is strong. Holy smokes. Now, it's important that you scan for other traffic because there's somebody else here. And we're just going to line ourselves up, get about 60 knots. Middle marker. Oh, my gosh, that wind is so strong. This is ridiculous. Oh, man, this is, like, nice. I never get wind this strong that's, like, right down the runway. Now, we're going to line ourselves up here. Everything's looking pretty good. He's literally watching me. I'm watching him. He's watching me. How you doing? And we're just going to go ahead and go around. Nantucket Tower, Red 64 is going around.
Red 64, roger. Go around. Make left close traffic.
Make left close traffic, Red 64. So now all I did is I just gave him a quick little heads up. Hey, I was going around. He knows that I was going around. He goes ahead and gives me permission. Keep in mind, landing clearances are conditional. It's possible that they could give you a call and tell you not to. During this one, we'll go ahead and do a full stop landing. But again, just like last time, we're going to do exactly what he said. We're going to go around. We're going to, once we get to the midfield, we'll call midfield. We'll make our request, and then we'll go ahead and put the thing down on the ground, stop it, and then we'll go ahead and taxi back. Again, this is a great third flight for people who are new to VATSIM. That way you're not worrying about going anywhere. You got a little bit of air traffic control. You've got a little bit of practice as far as working with, taxiing and everything along those lines. Again, note we're holding off on our turn here until we get to the end of the runway, which is very clear in the nice digital display. We'll try to make my traffic pattern a little bit nicer this time. It's been a little bit messy. All right, there it is. Go ahead and take that nice left turn. You can see some really nasty clouds out to sea there. We're not going to worry about those too much today. All right, there's about 1,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and back the throttle up to about half. Again, it's just a Cessna. You don't have to get sophisticated. All right, I'm going out to sea here. We want to make sure we don't go too far, because if we do go too far, we run into an interesting problem where we could go outside of his safety zone, and he can't keep a good eye on us. So we have to kind of keep that in mind. Yeah, you can see all the really, really expensive houses. This is kind of a rich people playground here. I really wish I could just look out the window like that. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll call you early and kind of be like, hey, you're at midfield or whatever. Nantucket Tower, Red 64 is midfield, request full stop.
Red 64, wind 240 at 16, runway 24, clear to land.
Runway 24, clear to land, Red 64. That's all you got to do. So now we're going to make an actual landing here. Again, you can request the option, you can request the touch and go, you can request exactly anything that you need to do. Remember to keep flying the plane. There we go. Start coming down. Man, that tailwind is amazing. It's like whoosh. We're just going to start making our way down. Again, fly the plane. Don't worry too much about the details. All right, there we go. Should be nice and base. Notice we don't have to make any calls unless they ask us to. What they'll do sometimes too is they'll be like, I'll call your base or something along those lines. Get our next notch of flaps down, start slowing down, start getting ready for the approach. Again, that wind is very strong. This way just a little bit. Do one of these things with your head. And we'll go ahead and bring us down to the ground. Last notch of flaps.
500.
And we got the sucker nice and lined up. In the real world, that runway is not nearly that flat. And that looks perfect. Airspeed is a little slow. We're just going to let the nose come down a little bit, push the throttle forward. There we go. Problem solved. Middle marker. Easy does it. We're starting to drift a little bit. Over to my left. A little bit of right foot. Airspeed is just a teeny millimeter high, but not bad. Remember, he's judging us right now. Actually, really, he can't even see us. He's looking at a radar screen. He's not even in Flight Simulator right now. That's the part they don't tell you. I'm going to back the throttle out. We're just going to coast it all the way down to the ground. There's our little leveling off. Again, keep flying the plane until the plane is on the ground. It's just stopped moving at the gates. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go sneak right over here. And we're going to go ahead and take a little turn here and get ourselves out of the way. Just trying to get off the runway here. Now, if you're smart, you're going to put yourself in a place that makes it easy to get where you need to go.
Red 64. Okay, you exit on the 3-3, that's fine, sir. If you want to make a left there on Echo.
Left on Echo, Red 64.
Fine. And you taxi to the ramp.
Taxi to the ramp via Echo Red 64. That's it. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll tell you when you need to get off the runway. This particular guy did not, which makes it a little bit tricky for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross right over the edge here. Go ahead and hit the brakes. And we're going to work out exactly where that particular ramp is. So if I go ahead and pop open our little thing real fast, you can see we're at Echo right now. Echo, if we wanted to get over to the ramp, we could do like a little swiggity swoop or something like that and kind of sneak in here. This would be actually via Echo, via Alpha, if we wanted to try to get over to the terminal. I'm actually going to ask for clarification. No, that looks pretty good. So we can come down Echo. We can take this little high thing. Nantucket ground, Red 64 is on Echo. Request taxi to the general aviation ramp.
Red 6-4. Affirmative, so you can taxi the ramp via Echo.
Via Echo. Okay, I was just trying to interpret the plan there. I couldn't see where we had to cross over.
Yes, sir, not a problem.
Okay.
Any right turn in the ramp is fine for me. You're the only aircraft I got.
Sounds good. Thanks for Red 6-4. All right, so in that case, that was just me clarifying. Again, feel free to ask. This is not the real world. In the real world, crossing another runway would be pretty darn naughty. It would just be, again, something that you would have to see and have to hear based on when you actually land the airplane. But he said any of them are okay, so if any of them are okay, we'll just go ahead and pick this one right here, which was looking pretty good. This is a high sensitivity zone, so I'm not too worried about it, but what I will do is I'll kind of make my way over to this little parking spot. And we'll go ahead and stop the plane, thank him for his services, and I kind of call it a video. So hopefully this video is helping you with your confidence a little bit. As you can see, it's not too scary, as some people would probably see. Taking that turn on the runway for that little one getting off of the main runway, that's a little sketchy. And if you're ever in doubt, you can always stop on the runway and ask, but I'm not really a fan of hanging onto the runway if I don't have to. Let's go ahead and put this thing to a full stop. On Nantucket Tower, thanks for your help.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Have a good one. So now we've said our goodbyes, we disconnect from the server and enjoy.